What's up, y'all? It's your boy Jason coming at you one more again. I'm super excited about this video. Uh, just a legend that I got to sit down with and just chat about, his cars and, uh, he beat Masami at the Worlds. He came second to Brian Kenwall at the Worlds. Um, he's been to four off-road worlds. Um, and let me tell you, I've never seen a car this meticulously done, like detailed. Um, the closest one I've seen and has been inside and took pictures of, is I took pictures of Ryan Cavalier's car or cars, and you can set Ryan Cavalier's car beside somebody else's car, and I can tell you which one is Ryan Cavalieri. He just adds a detail, but this driver here takes it to another level. But he's from the Kenwall era and the 90s and the invention. But anyway, Brian Dunbar, y'all. Let's get into his cars. Congratulations on your win.
Well, thank you.
Uh, that class is getting stacked, man.
It really is. It's pretty competitive.
How I always start off is like I go from the front of the car to the rear of the car, but I was wanting to start
Okay.
off. Who does your bodies there?
Well, Josh Kinzer from our local track
Okay.
painted that body. He paints a lot. I think he paints Talon's bodies. He paints a lot of guys there, but that's the first time he's painted my bodies. They're a little old and beat up at this point, but I need to get some new ones from him.
Yeah. Like I was telling you at the track, like I've video inside Cavalier's car and a couple other people's cars, Dustin Evans, a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
But your car and Cav's car stands out by like the meticulous and how the screws and everything shines.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to replicate Cav's titanium by getting this like semi-chrome polish, and I could never replicate it.
Yeah.
But I was talking to one of the guys there about it. I was like, hey, man, what is it about like the guy old school guys like with the flair? Like they have that personality in their cars. And he was saying, he goes, the younger generation, all they want to do is just build a car and get results. They don't care about personalizing it. They don't care about the extra mile. And he goes, if you pay attention, he says anybody from the Kenwall era goes that extra mile with their kids to this day. And
Yeah. That's a good point.
he brought up you and Cavalieri. But so up front on your shocks and shock wheels and pistons, what did you like end up on?
um, so I like the 1.7's in the front, 1.8's in the rear, and they were the thinner pistons. So a lot of people run thicker pistons. I liked the thinner ones, and I ran 32 and a half weight in the front and 30 weight in the rear.
Okay. Why you like the thin pistons?
Um, I just kind of I'm comparing them to the thick pistons with a little bit bigger hole. I usually run, so I was running for a while the 1.9s in the back and a 1. I should tell you, I'm running a split in the front. So I'm sorry, I was running a 1.8 in the rear, 2 1/8s, and then a 1.817 in the front. I always run a split piston in the front. It just seems like it's a better balance that way. But compared to the thicker pistons that have a little bit bigger holes, I feel like it actually packs up a little bit more. It kind of feels the same on the table. It just seemed to pack up and steer a little bit better on the track.
Okay. Springs, what did you go with spring wise?
I like the 1-up springs.
Oh, okay.
I want the red in the back and blue in the front.
Okay. Yeah, those springs seem like to be like the ticket. Like everybody's just buying them up now.
Yeah.
Uh, they're using that X Gear company, which is like a top of line spring company.
Yes. X Gears has a good spring. It doesn't seem to break down. It seems to be very seems they're matched pretty well. Things like that.
Yeah. Uh, Tire wise, what did you end up on tire wise on the two wheel?
But yeah, the Smoothie twos,
Uh huh.
front and rear, but the fronts they've got a different front tire now that's got they've put more rubber in the sidewall,
Mm-hmm.
so it's a thicker sidewall tire. I liked running those.
Okay. Uh, did you put the insert? The Jconcept makes an insert. Did you the sidewall insert?
I did not use that.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Nice thing about these tires is I didn't have to use that. As a
Okay.
matter of fact, I just used the standard gray insert that goes in the tire, front and rear.
Okay. Okay. Shock bodies. I see you want like 13 mil.
Yeah, our kits now come with 13 mil, but
Uh-huh.
I bought some AE shock bodies before the kit came out, so I just kind of stuck with those. But they're really the same as what Yokomo makes.
Right.
But yeah, they're 13 millimeter.
Uh,
I like those a lot.
what could you tell with the 13 versus like the 12s?
Um, they jump and land much better
Okay.
for the most part. Seems like you can throw the car when the car gets air and lands. That's where I notice it the most.
Which one do you elect to run? I see you run much more.
Yes,
Okay. You run 7.5 or 7.0 or
7.0.
okay. Okay. Uh, you run a fan on your motor, right?
Only in stock.
Anything special that you do in your diff builds?
Not really. I do try to break them in on the table, so just kind of let one tire, hook the radio up, turn the car on, hit a little bit of throttle,
Mm-hmm.
let one tire kind of spin off the table,
Right.
and then let the other tire spin. Then you tighten the diff a little bit and continue to do that until you get the diff somewhat tight. I find that makes the balls will seed a ring or a kind of like a it'll seed a line in the ring
Mm-hmm.
in the diff ring, and it gives it more surface area for the ball to roll on, so it'd be less apt to bark or to slip.
Right.
I find that's a good way to get more longevity out of your diff.
Okay. So, like, do your diffs last you? Your diffs last you like a race weekend, or are you changing out discs over the course of a race weekend?
Shoot, I could probably make a diff last probably 2-3 months sometimes.
Oh wow.
I mean, it'll last a pretty long time. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Uh, let's see here. Yeah, the one thing I did notice was like you sat by the track and you was constantly wrenching. You and Cavalier, y'all was. That's another thing. Y'all two are like constantly wrenching and tweaking, like
Yep.
whole race weekend. Is that something you might have picked up like Kenwall? Or is that just something you've always done?
Well, some of it's just I had 4 cars, so it probably looked like I was working a lot more than what I needed to.
Right.
If I only had 2 cars, like most guys are running, I don't think I would have been doing that much wrenching.
Right.
But if I had to do one thing to a car, I had to do it to the other one usually.
Right.
Keeping up the tires, just making sure all the screws were tight in each car. I was tweaking each car here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think running 4 cars probably made it look like I was really busy. Typically, I would just be running 2 on a normal race weekend.
Right.
But I don't think I was doing anything more than I needed to. I mean, there was probably more than if I had 2 cars, I probably would have been doing more to each car. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
I think each day I would have probably preferred to have rebled the shocks
Mm-hmm.
in each car because I think they build pressure, and I think when you build pressure in your shocks, it doesn't work as good on the track.
Right.
But since I had 4 cars, I didn't have time to do that every day.
Right. Your screw set here is those are those Avits or Jconcept or
On the car you're looking at there that was Avid.
okay.
They're flat the heads of the screws are kind of flat.
Uh-huh.
But I had to dye those gold as well. The other screw kit that I run is Clinic.
Uh-huh.
Klik. I run those.
Mm-hmm.
I run a mixture of Jconcepts turnbuckles along with the 1-up turnbuckles.
How long did it take you to anodize all those screws?
Long time. Yeah, after I get done polishing each one,
Mm-hmm.
figuring out which each one needs to go, the length of each one, you know what I mean? Then you gotta kind of clean the polish off each screw.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to leave any polish residue on there when you try to anodize them.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got to hook up the anodize. Got to hook up what you're doing there to anodize the screw and do each one at a time. And I usually do one. I do each end of the screw too. So I'll dump one end in and then turn around, alligator clip it, and put the other end in. Time frame, I don't know. It's probably maybe a day or two, extra day or two with the time that I have to do the car. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you're talking about 4 cars, so it can be very time consuming.
Right. Do you have them on the bottom of the car or just the top?
Just the top. Yeah, the bottom. Don't pay too much attention to with that, and I'll just usually add chassis tape to the bottom of the car. But yeah, just the top.
Okay. Diff grease. Which ones do you use?
I use a Jconcepts RM2 diff grease.
Okay.
That's for the outside, and then the inside diff grease I use just the AE black grease.
Okay. So on your 4-wheel, start off shock coils and piston up front.
Yeah, I ran 1/8s in the back, 1/7s in the front. Also thinner pistons with the 30 weight in the rear and 37.5 in the front.
Okay. What springs did you have on?
That I stuck with the AE springs. I had the V2 yellow in the rear and the V2 red in the front.
Diff fluids.
Okay, so I had 10,000 in the front, 10,000 in the rear, and 300,000 in the middle.
Okay. Do Yokomo have a slipper? Do they make a slipper for the center, or?
They do, the new kit. I have yet to try that. I heard it's something that maybe works best on carpet.
Okay. Yeah, even on your 4-wheel drive kit, I see like you've anodized your CVAs up front.
Well, actually, those are I think those are AE. So if you I'm not sure if you took a picture of my stock car or my mod car. My stock car, I've got those the mod like slider things in there.
The pucks.
The pucks, yeah, the pucks.
Okay, yeah, I got the stock car. Yeah.
Okay, so the pucks, I had to put the AE front dog bones in the car. To make it work with the puck system. Well, I'm sorry. Those are mod racing front dog bones that fit the AE car, and I made them fit our car.
Okay.
And then the rear, those are our dog bones. I had to take out the pin. I took the pin out of the dog bone, and then I had to drill the hole out a little bit more and insert the mod pin with the puck to make that work on our car. Okay. And then the outdrives were actually TLR outdrives that I made work on our car with my diff.
Right.
And then the center drive, I wanted that lightweight also. I came up with a combination of AE and TLR parts to make that work in our car.
Wow. See, yeah. That's the meticulous, like, nobody's doing that. Like, that's the area that I'm from too, where you get on and you wrench and you try stuff and you made your own stuff, you know?
Right.
This screw set in this one, your stock 4-wheel, what screw set is that one?
Well, wait a minute. That one might be. No, that one might be the same. That's Avid.
Okay.
Yeah, the stock one, that's Avid.
Okay. What tires did you end up on your four wheel?
Same with four wheel. So same as two wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Those new front tires, they make those for the four wheel also. So it has a thicker sidewall.
Mm-hmm.
So I use those with gray inserts, and then the rear I use the Smoothie 2s with gray inserts as well.
Okay. Okay. So I asked you, how many worlds have you been to?
4.
Would you, I asked you to track? Would you ever think about going again?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't. I guess it really doesn't tickle me like it used to. But I mean, I think being a part of a world championship is fun. Mm-hmm. Would I expect to do as well if I went? No.
Huh. Right. Yeah, I can remember. I was telling you that I raced on Scooter Motorsport, so I remember when Dean Kearns went to Japan for the 95. And like the work he put in, like he went out, spent time out in California, and.
Well, I was with him.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was my first Worlds. I think I finished like, I don't know, fifth in the B main or something like that.
Yeah.
We rode out there. We flew out there together to California to practice, and then it was kind of weird. It was funny because we were supposed to get on the plane and go to Japan, and he didn't realize he needed a passport. Like an idiot. And so somehow he got a passport in time for us to go. We still talk about that today. It's kind of funny, but yeah, that was interesting.
I tell people, I was like, Dean Kearns back then, I said he wore like bell bottoms to the track.
Yes.
He kind of reminded me of like a RC Pauly Shore kind of.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way to put that. That's funny.
But serious about his stuff, Yeah, I think he spent some time out in SoCal Raceway, I think is what it was at the time.
Yeah.
And running with some of those guys.
Yeah.
But speaking of tracks, y'all got a fast following there at y'all's track.
Yeah.
Talon Henley. There's a couple X-ray guys, and I think y'all's track. I think I made a post. I think it was on Instagram. I said y'all's track may be like the OCRC of East Coast.
Well, yeah, I kind of thought about that too. After visiting that track back in the day, that was in Garden Grove or whatever. It really feels like it's got that environment there. Just that race environment. The racers that are dedicated. It's open every day. Mm-hmm. There's always somebody there practicing. It's getting to the point now where they're letting Talon lock the place up, and sometimes we'll be there till midnight or later, just running laps or something.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
Right. So Yokomo are they gonna come out for new 2-wheel, or do you know? Or I know they dropped the 4-wheel.
They just did this past year.
Okay.
Are they gonna come with anything else? I don't know. And honestly, they're pretty. I don't really hear about it. I don't hear about anything any sooner than anybody else does. As a matter of fact.
Okay.
I originally came on to Yokomo because Joe Pillars was the team manager, and then he left, and I just stayed with him. But I really don't have any inside information other than when it's posted online.
Right.
So, and to me, I really don't. I've just gotten used to not needing the extra help. I just kind of do my own thing anyway.
Right.
And explain a lot of the stuff that I've done to this car already came out in the new kit, so I kind of knew I was going in the right direction.
Right.
But again, I think it's made it somewhat of a challenge, but it's also really rewarding to figure this stuff out on my own and show up with a car that nobody else has and still do okay with it.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if the 2-wheel came with, or the new 2-wheel, or the one they released. I don't know if it came with 13 mil shocks.
Yeah, it did.
Okay. Okay. Uh, so what's your next race?
That's a good question. We do these points races here locally, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to go anything. I don't really have anything on the calendar yet.
No Jconcepts like I think there's one in like Wisconsin. I think.
Oh, up at trackside, that
Yeah.
INS race, possibly. I've
Yeah.
been up there before.
Uh,
Yeah, I was kind of like, now these cars are working pretty good. I think I'm pretty confident about hitting the road if I did do that. Where before I was kind of hesitant, but now I feel pretty good about going somewhere else, and the car's probably working just fine.
you ever thought about coming down to Masters of Dirt at Myrtle Beach?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I know guys from our track go.
yeah.
Yeah, I would. I mean, that looks pretty fun.
Yeah, I messaged Billy Easton, and I was like, "Hey, you coming back?" I didn't,
Yeah,
I didn't get no response, but I think that would be like cool, like you, Billy Easton, uh, uh, all at Masters of Dirt, Thelke, all going for that title. Like I said, it's the 40 plus is like getting stacked.
yeah, yeah. I agree. Billy messaged me during the race this past weekend,
Uh-huh.
but I don't know if he'll. I don't know when he's run a race again. Honestly, I really don't know because he didn't have a local track there, so
Yeah.
that's
Uh,
kind of. Yeah.
yeah. Um, but so the state of RC, um, we're seeing like tracks like disappear, especially like 10 scale. Like 8 scale's kind of engulfed. Um, what do you think could help bring 10 scale back?
Hmm.
One of my buddies like bring back more outdoor tracks.
Yeah, they were fun.
Yeah.
Um, Gosh, I don't really know. I really have no idea. I guess maybe I didn't know. I think a lot of these tracks are going under because the rent's going up. So maybe a better economy. I don't know, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I don't know if they could even make enough money to keep stuff. The doors open. Even if they were having a flourishing crowd, they'd have to raise prices so much on folks.
Yeah.
Um, but I think economy might be killing a little bit. Are people just being too greedy with their rent?
Yeah.
You know, that's just what I've kind of heard.
Yeah.
But I feel like we could be getting more people on a local basis uh, for club racing. I don't feel like we got a lot of people for club racing. We get a lot of diehards,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't get a lot of club racing. And maybe there's a carpet track up in Indiana. I don't know if people wanted to switch to the carpet thing,
Mm-hmm.
which our track to me is kind of like carpet, just the dirt.
Yeah.
It's like carpet dirt. I don't know how to explain it. But man, I don't know.
Uh,
I don't know what people's problems are because right now, I feel like with our place, what else can you ask for?
yeah, man, y'all's place is perfect, man. Like I was just like, when I walked in and I saw the track, I was like, man, this is it. Like
Yeah,
this,
doesn't get any better than
this,
that.
and I was just like, this is where you need to be. Like this is it. And one of the guys from Florida, a couple guys from Florida, drove up last year, and they drove again this year. But it was last year. I was like, man, why'd they drive up there that long of a drive? And when I went this year, I was like, okay, I see. Yeah, this is what's up,
Yeah.
uh is there anything you work on like when you got in practice? Is there any drills you work on or anything to kind of get faster?
Um, I always try to keep it on all fours for sure. A lot of these kids will go out there and they try to fast lap every time or whatever. Like if there's a big jump, they're trying to make it. But I'm like, like in practice, you just really want to go out there and keep your car on all fours and really just like I'm just trying to get my car, make sure my car's working at every turn before I'm really going for it. But
Mm.
um, I think just that consistency. Not trying to just trying to get on the track the whole time without wrecking.
Okay.
A lot of guys aren't doing that. They're just trying to hot lap the whole time, and then they can't seem to get that consistency down. Run out there like you're going to be running a qualifying. Put a little bit of pressure on yourself.
Right. uh so what you think of like whipping the car and stuff like that.
I think it definitely helps
Mm-hmm.
in certain areas, but not every jump. You get yourself in trouble doing that. But there are places where if you don't do it, you're gonna lose time. It took me a long time when I came back to even do that stuff. Like now, my brain just does it. It's
Right.
funny how that works. Where I knew I needed to have it done instinctively, which is kind of where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
Not I would say everywhere, but places where I really need it, it is. But and I see I've gained some time getting the car to land on all fours, as opposed to where if you don't do it, it throws you out of the line a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching like some of the guys, and they're doing it on every jump, every little bump. They're like,
Yeah, I don't
and
know. You need to do all that.
uh, I'm looking at your four wheel and your out drives, your center out drives. I see those are like gold anodized.
Oh, that's just Monaco tape.
Okay, okay, cool.
Yeah, I think they were blue or they were some other color, and I just wanted to cover them up, so I just used the Monaco tape.
Okay, cool, cool. Uh, on practice days, do y'all have a large following there on the practice nights?
Sometimes I think leading up to a big race or something like that, it can be. Again, I would probably expect more people to show up sometimes, but I mean, whatever it is, I would think more, and I can't even give you an exact number sometimes. But
Right,
there are a lot of guys that are consistently there a lot, though. Sometimes it's the same people
right.
over and over again.
How often
And a
you?
lot of times, I work with those guys a lot too. When I'm there, I think some of the most fun I have is working with their cars and kind of getting them up to speed. So I'll drive their cars
Mhm.
and mess with their radios and just hand it back to them. And we tend to make a lot of progress with those guys that way.
Uh, how often you get to go to the track?
Um, Leading up to this race, it might have been 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay, okay, cool, cool. Uh,
Yeah.
well, during your race, was you like was is there any guys that you like keep like? I know Brent Thelke, like he wins. He's pretty dominant in that class.
Uh huh.
And for you to like take that win of just like, yes, about time somebody took a win from him.
Yeah, kind of. I beat them in San Diego. Oh, it's been about. It was an IMS race back in '02 or 2002.
Uh-huh.
I won an IMS race, and then I had a hard time beating them again after that.
Mm.
I think since then, maybe this is my first win since then, or since I think I've had a win against Al, but I don't think I had a win against Brent.
Right.
So yeah, it definitely felt good. A lot of hard work went into that, and again, especially them having an AE car and me having a Yokomo. Everybody's always like, you still running Yokomo?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So when I did that, I think that also kind of got a little respect that way. It's like, yeah, these cars aren't as bad as what you guys are making them out to be, just because I'm the only one running them.
Yeah. I got a Yokomo truck that was gifted to me by Chad Eubanks,
Uh huh.
and Chad hung out with Kenwall.
Uh huh.
And this Yokomo truck is modified to the brim, like it. I had the Yokomo truck before, and then the Yokomo truck he gifted to me,
Yeah.
totally different. Like it was the tweaking. Like so, he used buggy steering racks. Um, he used associated rear arms on it. Um, and it just made the truck like the Yokomo truck I bought and driving his truck were night and day difference. Like his truck was so much stable. Uh,
And
but that,
Kenwald modified it for him.
huh?
Kenwald was the one that modified it for him.
Oh no. Chad used to hang out with Ken Wall, so he
Okay.
yeah, so he's got that mindset of like just
Gotcha.
yeah. And he was sponsored by Yokomo, so he had like all that kind of at his access, you know.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Thing is with these cars, are they that much different? You know?
No. No, I think they're quite a bit the same. as far as the geometry goes.
Right. Oh, one question on servo. Do you ever slow down your servos? The speed
I
of them?
do. Yeah, in the radio. I slow it down with something. There's a speed adjustment in the M17.
Mm-hmm.
So I adjust that to like -20 full. It's going to forward and return.
Mm-hmm.
Do a -20 on that, and then the feeling, which is like it starts. The highest is 7S. I may take that down to 5S on the feeling adjustment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, I find that a lot of people, when I grab the radio, go to drive their car. That's the first thing I probably adjust on the radio, because I know if I can't, if it's too fast for me, I know it's probably too fast for them. And everybody's always like, "Oh, that's a big adjustment. Thank you."
Yeah. People kind of think they need the fastest servo.
Yeah.
On your ESC, do you tweak on your ESC a lot?
Modified, yes.
Okay.
Just depends, Just depends on what. There's a jump out there that I try to hit or something like that. For the most part, it stays the same, but unless there's an area where I need to get a little more power to get over something.
Okay. Do you ever adjust like brakes or anything like that? Like.
No, I pretty much keep that the same. I mean, I'll adjust that on my radio, but not in the speed controller.
Okay. Drive frequency, same too, or?
Same, keep that the same, yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Man, I appreciate this interview. Like I'm looking at your four wheel. Sway bars on your four wheel. Do you know what they are? Or?
Yeah, 1.4 in the back and 1.3 in the front.
Okay, cool. Like I said, I'm gonna edit this up, man, and do it justice. The best I can. But man, I really appreciate it. Like Cav usually lets me inside his cars. Just when he's not busy.
Yeah.
And sometimes he has like some prototype stuff on there, and I say, "Hey, is there anything on here?" Or, "Hey, is this?" He's like, "Oh, okay, don't put that out there."
Oh, gotcha.
It's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything like that, and everything's fair game there.
Okay, cool. So, the question you kind of brought up. So why Yokomo still?
I'm just loyal, I guess. I mean, I put a lot of time into these cars. First off, too. I mean, I really just, I knew they were okay, but I really just had to put a lot of time into them, and kind of, I don't know, Mayfield one that kind of laid the foundation down and had the cars, working pretty well when I came on the team. So I just really copied everything that I considered a standard thing for the car. And ever since I started doing that, I went my own direction. I feel like I've gotten them a lot better. So as I see improvement each week, adjusting the car, it just intrigued me to want to go further. I never felt like I hit a wall and was like, "No, this is it. This is the best it can be." So I just wanted to keep going with it, because again, I had so much time involved in the car. I thought, what the hell, I just want to keep going with it. So part of coming back is trying to figure things like that out. I think, again, when you're the only guy at the track using a chassis and you get to work, it's pretty rewarding.
Back and forth. Man, I appreciate this, man. Like, just let me inside your cars and... Wow. That was a treat. Sorry about that. My camera cut out a little bit at the end. But that's a treat. Just getting insight of his tire selection, the Jconcepts tires, and why he chose those tires, and foams, and his shock package, his radio settings, his ESC settings, and just how he comes about different ideas, and how he thinks about setup, and and going to the worlds, and if he's gonna go to another world. So Brian Dunbar, thank you so much for that interview. Yeah, that's just amazing. But anyway, if y'all like the video, like, subscribe, thumbs up. I mean, be doing me a huge favor, be doing the channel a huge favor. share it. But yeah, if you see me at the track, as usual, come up to me, say what's up. I'm just like everybody else. Thank y'all.